What's up, guys? I kind of stopped doing Monday Motivation, I don't know, probably over a year ago. Um, the reality is being intentional about posting meaningful content once a week was just too much for me. And I kind of just started posting things because I felt like I had to post them, even though I really didn't have anything to say. So I think a better plan would be when things are meaningful to me that I want to share, I should probably share them, regardless of what day of the week it is. Or regardless of the frequency. So something happened yesterday that's had me thinking a lot, and I just wanted to share it with some of you guys because this is a lesson that I learned way too late in life. And if one person could watch this and be like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. I think I want to try and implement that in my life. Then this will have all been worth it. This concept that I've stumbled into in my late 40s is a concept of process over results. And I think, unfortunately, we live in a society that's heavily driven by results. And in my own life, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but when I've been focused on the result, more times than not, one of two things happens. I either fall short of that result because I didn't have a plan to get there, or I accomplish the result and then I very quickly fall back into my old ways or old patterns because there was no process built around it. There was no plan to sustain the goal that I've now been fortunate enough to achieve. So what happened yesterday is I was at the barber shop. By the way, shout out to Chris Capo, Clean Cut Barbershop, Seminole, Florida. Those are some crispy lines, let's be honest. Um, but in the barbershop, I had a conversation, and somebody was saying, like, man, you look great. You've lost a lot of weight. You know, you're doing great things. Like, what's your goal? And I said, my goal is to eat healthy and work out every week. And he's like, yeah, no, I know. That's your plan, but what's your goal? And I said, no, that's my goal. My goal is to eat healthy and work out 2 to 3 times every week as hard as I can and to be really intentional about doing it. And I think he was confused and he's like, well, how much weight do you want to lose? And so the problem is, like, I couldn't tell you how many times in my life I've had a goal around weight loss. You know, I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to lose 100 pounds. I want to lose more than 100 pounds. And again, every single time in my life, I've either fallen short of that goal more times than not, because the minute that life would throw me a curveball or something went unplanned or out of the expected norm, I would fall off track in the lack of a plan, in the lack of a process. Or there's been a couple times in my life where I've actually lost a significant amount of weight and, you know, been fortunate enough to hit the goal. I don't know why I'm doing air quotes. You can't even see those. The goal. Um, but the reality is I've done that and then, you know, put the weight right back on because there was no plan around how to sustain that success. So I just really, in my life now, I care so much more about process than I do results. I believe that a good process will yield a good result more times than not. I believe that a bad process or a lack of a process could yield a positive result, but more times than not, it's going to be an anomaly. It's not sustainable. It's not replicatable. It's a lot like what we do in my career. We live in a world of financial planning where people want to talk about, well, how much money do you need to retire? I don't care what software you're using. The number that you come up with is arbitrary. It's an arbitrary goal. Until you can tell me what day I'm going to die on, until you can tell me how long I'm going to be retired, until you can tell me what's going to happen with taxes and inflation and interest rates throughout that time, until you can tell me what my health in retirement is going to be like, am I going to have a long-term care need that costs me hundreds of thousands of dollars or more? Until you can predict the future, you can't tell me what I need to retire. So we don't waste a lot of time with our clients trying to analyze their need and then back our way into some formula. We just instead focus on the process and controlling the things that we can control. We can control how well we protect our income and our assets. We can control how much money we save. We can control how we allocate those savings. We can control whether or not we take on bad debt. Those are the things that we can control. And if we check every box of that process along the way, whether we retire with $3 million dollars or $4 million dollars or whatever that arbitrary number may be, I would argue that that was our optimal goal. That's where we should have been. If I go to the gym 3 times a week and work hard with my trainer and control the food that comes into my body and make sure that I'm eating clean every day, don't you guys suspect that I'm going to end up in a place of good health? Will it be 6 months from now? Will it be 18 months from now? I have no idea. But I suspect that by controlling what I can control and managing the process and being more driven by the process than the outcome, I'm going to end up in a really good place. If all I cared about was losing 100 pounds and I had no plan around it and there was no process, I probably would fall short or get there and revert back to my old ways. There's a lot of really great books about this. One of my favorites is actually called Chop Wood, Carry Water by Joshua Medcalf. It's a book about falling in love with the process of becoming great. And Joshua talks a lot in really all of his books about falling in love with the process and surrendering the outcome. And so that's how I live my life now. And I think it's a much more successful, efficient way to live life. And I also think it's a lot less worrisome, a lot more stress-free. I don't know what I'm going to weigh a year from now. I have no idea. Like, I just know that I'm going to put in the work and I'm going to do all the right things. And I suspect that the outcome will be positive and I should be satisfied with that outcome. So if there are any of you today that are really driven by goals and numbers, and you're chasing a carrot on a stick, if you had the ability to shift your mindset away from the carrot and more about the steps that will get you closer and closer to the carrot, or maybe when you get there, it won't be a carrot. It'll be something way better than a carrot. Maybe it'll be like a tomahawk ribeye by the time you get there. You don't know. Maybe there was an outcome greater than you could ever imagine. That's another thing. Look at me. I'm just thinking on the fly here. What if my goal was to lose 100 pounds? And I successfully accomplished that goal and I stopped. And I'm happy. I accomplished my goal. I did it. Even if I don't revert back to my old ways, even if I don't gain that weight back, what if that's what I did? But in some parallel universe, had I focused on a really good process, maybe I could have lost 125 or 150 pounds. I would never know, because sometimes when we get so focused on the outcome or the goal or the end result or the number, sometimes we limit ourselves. Sometimes there's something far greater than we could have ever imagined out in the distance waiting for us if we'll just control the controllables. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's something that I learned way too late in life. I wish that, when I was in my 20s or 30s, my 20s, I don't even know if we had social media. So when I was in my 30s, I wish I would have stumbled across a video on social media and it would have resonated with me and I would have been like, you know what, I'm going to try that. I don't think anything we see on social media is an automatic fix. Like, yep, that's me. I'm that guy now. But I think sometimes we see things and we're open to trying them. And so if that resonates with anyone, praise the Lord and let me know. Like, I would love to know if that resonates with you. And I can share some stuff that I'm reading that I think will help you to kind of grow in that element. But process over results. It has been an absolute life-changing concept for me. And, I pray that resonates with somebody. So what's my goal? How much do I want to weigh a year from now? I don't know. But what am I going to eat today? I know that. Am I going to go to the gym today? Yep, 3:30. I'll be there. See you, Matt Levine. Take it easy on me. You know what? Don't take it easy on me, because I have fallen in love with the process of becoming great. I love you guys. Take care of one another.